Part 38. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 371. She was with Lin Jiarui. On the way there, his expression remained cold, without any trace of sadness. Now that Lin Mei is relying on Yinghuan, she is going smoothly in the circle. Lin Jiarui knows that this eldest daughter has not been in the same heart with the Lin family for a long time. Things depend on her face. Although the two of them are on the same plane at this time, Lin Jiarui, some people asked her sarcastically, "Grandma is not in good health. The hospital asked us to be prepared. At this time, why doesn't she come to see us? Look." Lin Mei looked at Lin Jiarui with an unbelievable expression. "Dad, what are you still dreaming about at this time?" She couldn't help but sarcastically said, "Dad, you speak according to your conscience. Forget about your family's attitude towards me. After all, it's hard to say that I was raised by you. You have had a relationship with Wan. Take the trouble to find her? You are just strangers to her. Would you care if the stranger died?" Lin Mei's words were a bit venomous, which made Lin Jiarui's ears harsh. He was a little angry, but he didn't dare to yell at Lin Mei loudly on the plane. He could only argue with reason, "It's all in the past, and we don't expect to do anything with her. After all, she is a grandma, and everyone wants her. Let's go and let her meet, isn't it too much?" "That's too much." Lin Mei ignored him at all. "I don't want to talk so much nonsense with you now. We are on a plane. I am tired and need to rest. We will talk about it when we land." Lin Jiarui was really furious when he saw Lin Mei's current state. I think that the eldest daughter never dared to speak loudly in front of them, but now she has become like this. Their family had obviously raised Lin Mei, so why could they still act like enemies? Yes, there were some things they didn't do enough. They neglected to educate Lin Mei. But he was so busy, how could he have time to care about Lin Mei? Seeing Lin Mei's impatient attitude, Lin Jiarui didn't dare to say anything to her. After all, this was on a plane, and there were other passengers around, so it was very ugly to cause a scene. When the plane officially landed, the more than 10 hours of flight made people a little tired, but Lin Jiarui did not dare to rest, so he and Lin Mei took a car to the hospital. The hospital where Kui Ziyufang currently lives is the same hospital as Lin Jiangguo. When they arrived at the hospital, Lin Baoxi came out to pick them up. Seeing the eldest sister wearing sunglasses and a black dress with an indifferent expression, Lin Baoxi said sarcastically, "Sister." Regarding this sister, Lin Mei just nodded and said nothing more. Lin Jiarui asked, "Where is Grandma?" Lin Baoxi quickly took them there, his expression still a little sad on the way. "Grandma has already started talking nonsense. She stayed in the police station for a while and was tortured badly. When she came out, she knew that her brother's matter could not be solved, so she fell ill immediately. She may not be very close to her grandma, but Kui Ziyufang has not treated Lin Baoxi badly since she was a child. It is unrealistic to say how much one hates Kui Ziyufang. After all, Lin Baoxi is the one who has enjoyed a small amount of love in her family. Her grandmother is in poor health and is about to die. It is normal for her to be a little sad from her granddaughter's point of view. Why is this happening? I asked your mother to bail Grandma out a long time ago." Lin Jiarui was a little resentful. His mother was going to die, so of course he wanted to find someone to take the blame. Yu Wenzi is the best choice. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 372. Lin Baoxi didn't say a word, and Lin Mei didn't say a word next to her. When they arrived at the hospital ward, they saw Kui Ziyufang, who was staring at the ceiling with her eyes closed and silent. Seeing Kui Ziyufang, Lin Jiarui's eyes still shed tears. "Mom." His voice was filled with guilt, and he sounded like a filial son. When Kui Ziyufang heard Lin Jiarui's voice, she felt something strange. She turned her head, and when she saw Lin Jiarui, she couldn't help but burst into tears. "Son, you're here." She was just confused sometimes, but most of the time she was quite sober. "Recognizable. It's just that we haven't seen him for a while, and he is no longer as lively as before, and he looks haggard to the naked eye. The elderly are like this, their bodies are fragile, and if they are angry, they may not be able to survive." Lin Mei stood aside and did not speak. Lin Baoxi looked at Lin Mei hesitantly and heard Lin Mei whisper, "Where is Mom?" "Mom is at Grandpa's place." Lin Jiangguo lived in the best ward, and experts watched it. Kui Ziyufang lived in an ordinary VIP ward, which was considered top-notch, but it couldn't be compared. Yu Wenzi hated Kui Ziyufang. Sometimes she would curse people when she was confused, and the scolding was very unpleasant. Yu Wenzi didn't want to stay here and suffer. It's better to take care of the old man. At least the Lin family is in decline, and Lin Jiangguo still has a lot of private property. There are still some opportunities to please the old man. Lin Mei sneered when she heard this. She didn't take off her sunglasses, and the brightness was dazzling. Kui Ziyufang was not blind. She hugged her son and cried for 2 minutes. When she saw Lin Mei, her eyes widened. You. Her face was so pale and slumped, and she stared at Lin Mei with her eyes wide open, which was still a bit scary. Lin Mei looked at Kui Ziyufang, curled her lips, and called out softly, "Grandma. You little bitch." Hearing Lin Mei's shouting, Kui Ziyufang was not moved. "You still have the nerve to come. It's all your fault that our Lin family is here today. If you hadn't gone to find that broomstick, we wouldn't have become like this." She was so angry that she started to scold again. At first she was scolding Lin Mei, but then she became confused and kept scolding other members of the Lin family. She scolded Yu Wenzi, scolded Lin Mei, and occasionally she said something to Lin Baoxi, but she didn't hear a bad word about the man of the Lin family from her mouth. They kept saying that Lin Mei and the others were responsible for Bao Jun's present day. Lin Mei felt disgusted when she saw Kui Ziyufang unrepentant before she died, so she didn't say anything. She just sat next to her with a cold look and scolded her as she pleased. Lin Jiarui gave some sarcastic words of advice, but still couldn't stop Kui Ziyufang from scolding her. Finally, Lin Mei said, "It doesn't look like she is going to die." Kui Ziyufang didn't know if she understood. Her expression changed and she cursed even more harshly. Lin Jiarui quickly scolded Lin Mei, "Stop talking." Lin Baoxi couldn't stand hearing it and asked Lin Mei to go out. She took Lin Mei to see Yu Wenzi and Lin Jiangguo. After all, she was already here, so she couldn't help but see Lin Jiangguo and others. Lin Mei didn't stop going. Some things always need a thorough solution. It cannot be completely solved by avoiding it. She went to Lin Jiangguo's ward. Unlike Kui Ziyufang, Lin Jiangguo ate well, drank well, was well served, and looked pretty good. He didn't look like he had suffered a cerebral hemorrhage a few days ago. But when he saw Lin Mei, the smile in his eyes faded a little. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 373. Now that I see these people, I no longer have the fear I had in the past. I know in my heart that they are just a bunch of paper tigers who bully the weak and fear the strong. Lin Mei saw Lin Jiangguo and called out lightly, "Grandpa." Yu Wenzi saw Lin Mei. Although she was still a little uneasy and had some hidden hatred, she was able to keep her composure this time and didn't say anything. She didn't bother to care about Lin Mei not calling her. Lin Jiangguo looked at Lin Mei with gloomy eyes. During this period of time, they also knew that Lin Mei lived better than anyone else. Yingwan's public identity, if there is anyone in the Lin family who benefits, it is Lin Mei. She has been recording the show with Yingwan since the beginning. Now Lin Mei's status in the entertainment industry has greatly improved. She doesn't have to worry about anything. There are also a lot of resources delivered to her door, fans, flowers, and countless popularity. Even things like the Lin family can't stop her rise. She ascended, and the Lin family collapsed. Yingwan didn't let the Lin family take advantage of a penny. Instead, the Lin family reaped the fruits of their own labor. Lin Jiangguo is not as extreme as Kui Ziyufang. He knows that most of the reasons are still on Lin Baojun, but it does not mean that he can let go of his prejudice. He has always been heartless towards Lin Mei and others. Hearing Lin Mei's shout, he sighed, "Did you go to see your grandmother?" Lin Mei wore sunglasses, and the corners of her mouth seemed to twitch with a sneer. Obviously she went to see her, and she did not get any good treatment. Yu Wenzi saw Lin Mei's attitude, paused, and lowered her eyes again. Lin Jiangguo said, "The past things, the past is the past. After all, we are a family. How can there be so many overnight hatreds?" Lin Mei did not speak. It does not mean that she agrees with Lin Jiangguo. How can there be so many overnight hatreds? People are dying, of course, they can say this indifferently. Now that they can't get any advantage, they can say that there is no overnight hatred. Were all the grievances she suffered in the past false? Kui Ziyufang is dying now and still misses her precious grandson, and she is reluctant to blame. You can't expect Lin Mei to have a good face. My health is not suitable for managing Lin's enterprise. Your father is here this time. I plan to discuss with him and hand over the company to you. Lin Jiangguo's words made Lin Mei react. No, you sell it, take the money, I don't want a penny. Lin Jiangguo's pupils shrank. Yu Wenzi's reaction was even stronger. You don't want the company even if I give it to you, are you crazy? Lin Mei looked at Yu Wenzi and sneered, I'm not crazy. Lin's enterprise's loan was unsuccessful. Now the company has no major problems, but the Lin family's withdrawal from the previous leave to Lin Mei does not mean that there is no mess, and she does not have much talent in this area. And if she takes over, doesn't it mean that she will always have to fight with the Lin family? She said, sell it, the money is all yours, just live abroad and live a happy life as a family. She curled her lips and smiled happily, what do you think? You don't want us to go back? Yu Wenzi widened her eyes, and this time she couldn't help but yelled at Lin Mei, do you still have a conscience, Lin Mei, are you a human being? Just treat me as if I'm not a human being. Lin Mei took off her sunglasses, revealing her eyes, staring at Yu Wenzi with icy coldness. A few months ago, I was forced into a desperate situation by you, and I thought about emigrating abroad and no longer having any relationship with your Lin family. Now you are also abroad, which just fulfilled my wish. I don't want you to go back, Mom, do you understand? Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 374. Although Lin Jiangguo has connections, now that he can't go back, what is Lin Mei afraid of? Her current status is unusual, and the people she comes into contact with are also unusual. There are also special people who have extended an olive branch to her. She can use her connections to deal with the Lin family. Yu Wenzi trembled with anger, you are crazy, your wings are so hard, it's amazing. You're right, Lin Mei still smiled happily, in the past, my wings were not strong enough and I had no ability. Now that my wings are strong, of course I will crush you to death here. Yu Wenzi made a sharp sound and rushed over to hit Lin Mei. She had been like this in the past, but this time she was held by Lin Mei's hand. She didn't care that Yu Wenzi was her mother, and threw her aside with her backhand, but not too hard, so as not to cause anything to happen to Yu Wenzi. You still want to hit me? Ever since you were little, you've always taken it out on me when things didn't go your way. You, a rich and noble lady, are really twisted. Lin Baoxi next to her was so frightened when she saw the scene that her eyes were red, but she didn't dare to reach out to stop him. Lin Jiangguo looked at the scene with a gloomy face and could only yell, "That's enough." He stared at Lin Mei, his eyes seemed to pop out. "Did she ask you to do this?" She. Lin Mei put on her sunglasses again, regained her star-like glory, and smiled brightly. "No, you think too much. She just treated you as strangers from the beginning to the end, and never thought about coming back, nor did she ever think about targeting you. You sent it here yourself. You are so shameless and want to take advantage of me. There is no such thing as good in this world. Grandma is about to die, so I will wait for a few days. After she dies, I will go back and show my last filial piety. Grandpa, don't worry, I will come to see you when I have time." After Lin Mei said this, she turned around and left the ward. Yu Wenzi almost fainted from anger. Lin Baoxi looked at them in fear and said in a trembling tone, "Mom. A good family, but now it is all ruined because of my brother. Although the Lin family is not bankrupt, it is not a good thing that they cannot return to China for the rest of their lives." Now that she and Lin Mei had broken up, she had no one to rely on. Lin Jiangguo knew that nothing could be saved. He had received too many warnings and could no longer do anything. He closed his eyes and sighed deeply. Lin Mei actually stayed abroad for a few days and had already received the hospital's data when she came. Kui Ziyufang was at the end of her rope and could not last more than a few days. When she was in the police station, she suffered a lot because Yu Wenzi didn't fish her out in time. After he came out, he found out about Lin Baojun. He was so angry that his body quickly failed. She was not calm when she left. Lin Jiarui stayed with her as a dutiful son for 2 days, and then he heard her scolding Yu Wenzi and Lin Mei for 2 days. She scolded every woman in the family, but never a man. He only occasionally complained about Lin Jiangguo. In the end, she couldn't even remember Lin Jiarui. In the end, Lin Jiarui cried sincerely twice. He didn't know whether he was crying because he was such a failure as a person, or because his mother still passed away so uneasily in her later years. In short, one night 2 days later, Kui Ziyufang finally closed her eyes in unwillingness. Lin Jiarui cried sincerely and sadly, and Lin Baoxi also had red eyes. Only Yu Wenzi came down to see Kui Ziyufang for the last time. When she saw her death, although her heart was a little complicated, there was no sadness at all. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 375. Kui Ziyufang's funeral can only be held abroad. Now that the irreversible matter has been decided, the Lin family can only start processing the immigration documents. Their conditions are actually not bad, and immigrants will be approved. It's just that I can't enter China again in this life. Lin Mei attended her funeral and received a call from Yingwan on the same day. Kui Ziyufang passed away. Lin Mei's expression was a little complicated. "Yes, but you don't have to worry about these things." Yingwan's voice was calm. "I just received the news. I made a call to ask and say my condolences to Lin Jiarui. Her involvement with the Lin family should be completely terminated from here." Lin Mei sighed and responded softly, "Yes, I will tell you." Yingwan, "Okay, I'll hang up if nothing happens." Lin Mei, "Yeah." Kui Ziyufang's funeral was held very simply, and Lin Mei brought it to Lin Jiarui according to Yingwan's words. At this time, Lin Jiarui couldn't say anything. He didn't know if he had figured out something because of Kui Ziyufang's insults in the last 2 days. He just felt so tired that he couldn't say anything clearly. It's really good that Yingwan didn't add insult to injury. Lin Jiangguo was just a little complicated about Kui Ziyufang's death, not sad. In the last period of time, Kui Ziyufang did a lot of radical things that affected the Lin family, and she played a major role in spoiling Lin Baojun. Now that she is dead, it makes Lin Jiangguo more relaxed. The news of Cui Ziyufang's death did not cause any fluctuations, just like an ordinary thing in the world. Lin Baojun is currently in a drug rehabilitation center, and he doesn't know if he will be a little shaken when he receives the news of his grandma's death. Maybe after knowing about it, he still looks indifferent. Lin may return to the country, and Lin Jiarui officially sold Lin's company according to Lin Jiangguo's instructions and officially immigrated abroad. Lin Baoxi's studies also moved abroad. The money from the sale was quite a lot, and with the money, the Lin family could spend their entire lives happily abroad. Even if Lin Baojun came out, it would not be impossible to protect him. Of course, regardless of whether Lin Baojun will change his ways after he comes out, the affairs of the Lin family have nothing to do with Lin Mei Yingwan. Yingwan's life here is peaceful. She has been studying AI recently. The database in the countryside is still not comprehensive enough. She first transferred it to the laboratory in the imperial capital and asked Bai Ya to hand over the company's data to her. Many businesses of Wanteng Group involve intelligence. Now that she knows that boss will focus on this aspect, Bai Ya is naturally excited. She returned to the imperial capital and temporarily lived in her own property. And she is connecting with the lonely genius on the internet, asking the other person to find a time to return to China and meet her. She plans to formally establish an AI research laboratory, and this person can be a member of the research laboratory. The other party didn't know Yingwan's identity at this time, and showed little interest in Yingwan's invitation. It will definitely be after the year, I won't return to China until then. Of course, when he found out later that the person who invited him to meet was Yingwan, he wished he could travel back in time and space to go back to that time and slap the person he was destined to be in the next year to give him a concussion. Of course Yingwan wouldn't force it, she just said yes. Of course, when she was concentrating on doing things, time went very quickly, and before she knew it, it was Si Lu's birthday. She didn't go back to the countryside, she was just in the imperial capital, so she couldn't do anything for Si Lu. She thought Si Lu didn't contact her. She was probably busy, so she could just send him a birthday greeting when the time came. Then let Bai Ya pick a birthday gift and send it over. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 376. Si Lu was in the imperial capital, so it was reasonable that his birthday should be celebrated in a grand manner. However, no one received an invitation to his birthday party that day, which meant that the Si family would not hold his birthday party this year. This was a bit confusing. Si Lu was busy with his own affairs, but that didn't mean he had no time to rest. As soon as it was past 12 o'clock that night, his mobile phone began to explode, and he received countless messages wishing him a happy birthday. Those who wanted to curry favor with him or have a good time with him all waited at a time, trying to send his blessings to him after 12 o'clock. Even if the party was not held, gifts would continue to be sent during the day. But he waited for a long time for the message, but he didn't wait for the message from the person he wanted to see. He sat on the bed, with rare insomnia, and actually couldn't sleep. Maybe she would send him a message during the day. After all, she was not the kind of person who pretended not to know after knowing. But after there was no message, he still felt a little confused. He forced himself to sleep, but he couldn't sleep well. He had a dream, which was rare and made him irritable. It was the real heat. In the dream, Yingwan's snow-white skin and delicate neck were just like what he had seen in reality, and it seemed that he could feel his hand touching her smooth skin. The dream was so colorful that when he woke up, he felt a sense of emptiness. He was awakened by a message, which ruined his beautiful dream and made him very irritable. With a gloomy look in his eyes, he turned on the screen, and the result was: Yingwan, happy birthday. He looked at the time, It was 2:30 in the morning. All the anger in his heart was vented again. He pressed his eyebrows, too lazy to type, and sent a voice message directly. "Si Lu, why haven't you slept yet?" The voice was hoarse, and there was a faint sense of laziness that was not satisfied. Yingwan replied with a message, "I did a small experiment, and I just finished it. I remembered your birthday. Why haven't you slept yet?" Si Lu made up a lie, "I was busy on my birthday. They all sent me messages and I had to read them." In fact, he didn't read them at all, and never replied. Yingwan, "Oh. Si Lu, I heard you're in the capital recently. Are you busy during the day?" Yingwan, "The first phase of the experiment is done, I can take a break." Si Lu, "I want to come over for dinner. You promised me, remember? Just treat it as a birthday present." Yingwan, "What do you want to eat? I'll go to the supermarket in the morning." "Go to the supermarket?" Si Lu was shocked. Yingwan has never spoiled others. He definitely had no choice in the countryside. Now he is probably in the capital. She has to go to the supermarket anyway, so she asked Si Lu what he wanted to eat. Although he has never been to the supermarket, he has been there once or twice occasionally, but this is a good opportunity. Afraid that the voice message would be too happy to expose himself, he sent a message this time, "I'm not sure what you want to eat. Let's go to the supermarket together tomorrow. I'll pick you up and buy whatever we see at that time." Yingwan thought about it and replied, "Okay, 9 o'clock in the morning." Si Lu, "Okay, then you go to bed early. I'll come on time tomorrow morning. Good night." Yingwan, "Good night." Seeing that things had made significant progress, he could not hide his joy no matter how calm he was. He got up, lit a cigarette, and played a voice message to Hua Huanyan in his pajamas. It was late at night. Hua Huanyan went to bed early, which was rare. He was very sleepy and wanted to curse when he was woken up by the voice message. He thought it was something important when he saw that it was Si Lu who played the voice message to him. After the call was connected, before he opened his mouth, he heard Si Lu's cold and beastly words. "I can't sleep, get up and play cards with me all night." Hua Huanyan. Worse than an animal. I am working hard to make up for it. I also ask for monthly tickets during the double period, and I will increase the monthly tickets. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 377. Si Lu couldn't sleep, so he could wake Hua Huanyan up in the middle of the night. But this made Hua Huanyan suffer. He went to bed early, and it was fine if he was woken up when he was sleeping soundly, but now he had to play with Si Lu all night. Such beastly behavior was enough to make Hua Huanyan curse thousands of times in his heart. But he didn't have the courage to scold Si Lu, so Hua Huanyan called a brother who was still awake to be tortured by Si Lu together. Several people played cards together until 7:30 in the morning. Hua Huanyan couldn't hold on any longer. Now he didn't know what Si Lu said on the phone. The other brother's eyes were dull now, and he probably didn't even know his last name. Seeing that the time was almost up, Si Lu finally mercifully let them go. At 8 o'clock, he also had to get ready, so he had to reserve some time. In addition, it would take about half an hour to drive to Yingwan's place. They had to arrive on time at 9 o'clock. He knew very well that Yingwan was not the kind of woman who liked to be late. Since she said it was 9 o'clock, it must be 9 o'clock, so Si Lu couldn't be late. He took a shower and changed into a custom-made mid-length black men's windbreaker. After some other preparations, he saw Si Guanyi eating breakfast in the hall when he went downstairs early in the morning. It was not strange for him to get up early, but seeing that Si Lu was going out so early, Si Guanyi asked while eating breakfast elegantly, "It's your birthday today. If you don't plan to celebrate, where are you going so early in the morning?" Si Lu, "I'm going to celebrate." Si Guanyi, "With your friends?" Unexpectedly, Si Lu turned his head when he heard this, and there was a hint of sneer in his eyes. You will regret what you said. Si Guanyi. This made him think a little. Who could it be? Si Lu didn't say anything, just waved his hand, went to the garage by himself, and drove out. After all, today we were going to the supermarket, so we couldn't be too flashy, so Si Lu didn't drive his cool sports car, but picked a relatively low-key silver car in the garage. When we arrived downstairs of Yingwan's house, it was exactly 8:55. It was only 5 minutes away from 9 o'clock as Yingwan said. Yingwan was a straightforward person. Since Si Lu said he would pick her up, she wouldn't think about anything else. Just when Si Lu was almost downstairs of her house, she called Si Lu and asked, "Are you there now?" "I'm going downstairs." Si Lu's lips curled, "I'm here, come down, I'm outside." The house where Yingwan lived was a duplex apartment building. The area was prosperous, the price was high, and it was not far from C's house, so Si Lu came so quickly. Yingwan was now ready to go downstairs. Because she was going to the supermarket, even if it was Si Lu's supermarket, she still dressed in her usual style. The weather has been cold recently, and she still tied her hair into a bun, wearing simple jeans, but she wore a very complicated knitted jacket on the outside. The coat is beige, long, and reaches Yingwan's ankles. A huge phoenix is embroidered on the back. The brand's confidence is represented by the fact that it dares to embroider such a pattern. It gives people a very real and shocking feeling when walking. It is a limited edition custom coat of a domestic luxury brand. The price is naturally very attractive. When she walked down, she was still fresh and elegant. Si Lu, who was waiting outside, saw her and raised his eyebrows slightly. She is still so beautiful. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 378. Seeing Si Lu's car, Yingwan came over and opened the door. When she came in, she seemed to bring a gust of fragrance. Si Lu asked her calmly, "Which supermarket should we go to?" Yingwan said, "It doesn't matter." Si Lu naturally took her to a familiar place he had been to. The supermarket they went to was not an ordinary supermarket. It was a very famous supermarket in the imperial capital. Most of the people who could go there were rich people and celebrities, and the main reason was that it was expensive. You can buy anything there, even if it is a rare thing, as long as it has something to do with the supermarket. Located in the most luxurious underground shopping mall in the imperial capital. Another advantage of going here is that there are not so many people, and you won't be disturbed by ignorant people. Si Lu knew that she was on the show now, and there must be many people who knew her. What should I do if I met an ignorant person who came to harass her? When they got to the supermarket, Si Lu went to the parking lot to drive the RV. Yingwan was waiting for her next to her. Not far away were Suhan and a special forces member who followed. The two of them looked at this scene, and the special forces team member probably felt a little jealous. We all went to the supermarket together. If they could express their own ideas, they would probably say something sarcastic. Suhan lit a cigarette. Who made him have a birthday today? The team member was not convinced. Miss Ying didn't take anyone's birthday seriously. What's so great about his birthday? Suhan blew a smoke ring. It's nothing great, he's just thick-skinned. Team member. In fact, he was still a little envious. Who doesn't want Miss Ying to celebrate their birthday? If I can probably hang it up in the circle of friends for a year. Suhan. The two people got off the car. Yingwan pushed a cart, and the underground supermarket was in the passage. It's very big here, with everything you need, and most of the fresh seasonal vegetables are airlifted from abroad on the same day. The things are good, but also very expensive. Yingwan didn't care about these. She pushed the cart and went in with Si Lu, and asked softly, "What do you want to eat?" Si Lu followed her, and she had never experienced such a feeling before. He and Yingwan went to the supermarket alone, and both of them looked outstanding. Almost everyone around them would subconsciously look at them. Of course, those who didn't know would think they were a couple. He was secretly happy in his heart, but he still said, "Look, go shopping for a while, and buy whatever you think is suitable." Yingwan. She hadn't been to the supermarket for a long time. In the past, she would go directly to the market to buy in the countryside, or others would send it to her. It's quite fresh to go to the supermarket by herself now. When she pushed the cart over, Lu would occasionally pick 2 bags of snacks from the shelf and put them in the cart. Yingwan would not have any objection. In the eyes of others, this was no different from an ordinary couple. Looking at the outstanding looks of the two, especially Lu's imposing appearance, women who came to the supermarket would subconsciously look at Yingwan with envy and jealousy in their hearts. However, after looking at Yingwan seriously, he would also show a brief surprise. Someone here must have recognized Yingwan's identity, and soon people in the supermarket began to whisper. "Isn't that Yingwan over there who revealed his identity not long ago? He is said to be an academician." "What do you mean by said?" "That means he is the winner of the Edgar Mathematics Award, a super genius." "Who is the man next to her?" You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 379. Some of these discussions would fall into Lu's ears. He looked at Yingwan, who walked into the seasonal vegetable area and looked at the dishes attentively. He followed behind her with a slight smile on his lips, and occasionally said what he wanted to eat according to the dishes in front of him. In fact, he didn't want to eat anything. He wished he could shop slower. Otherwise Yingwan would finish shopping too quickly and leave directly. Although those people were surprised, some recognized Lu's identity, but not many ignorant people would come forward to disturb him. But he still met an acquaintance. "Yingwan." A puzzled voice came, and Yingwan looked up. It turned out to be Bai Ya's wife Zhu Liuyu. Although they didn't have a deep intersection, because Bai Ya, Yingwan and Zhu Liuyu were still acquainted, she saw that the other party was also pushing a cart to go shopping in the supermarket, and she saw Lu and Yingwan together. She was a little shocked at the time. Mainly, how could Yingwan be with Lu? The two of them actually went to the supermarket together. If Zhu Liuyu hadn't seen it with her own eyes, she wouldn't dare to believe it. Does Bai Ya know? Zhu Liuyu's heart was like a storm. However, the two people who made her stormy were very calm. Yingwan was not surprised to see Zhu Liuyu, and nodded and greeted her naturally. "Liuyu." Lu also knew Zhu Liuyu, and he also knew Bai Ya. Seeing Zhu Liuyu at this time, he raised his chin slightly and closed his eyes. "You are here too?" "I'm shopping in the supermarket." Zhu Liuyu said it naturally and legitimately, but the look in her eyes when she looked at Lu was a little incredible. "What are you doing here? When did he get along so well with Yingwan?" Zhu Liuyu found it incredible. "It's my birthday, and I'm shopping in the supermarket with Yingwan. What do you think?" Lu looked at Zhu Liuyu and curled his lips. It seems that after getting married, she has become a good wife and a good mother. Zhu Liuyu. The question is why he is with Yingwan. She was so surprised that she hesitated when she looked at Yingwan now, not knowing whether to ask the question, "Are you dating?" Yingwan asked directly, "Will you come over for lunch with Bai Ya?" Lu. The smile suddenly disappeared. Zhu Liuyu was a little surprised, but also a little moved. "Ah, do you have time?" "Why not?" Yingwan smiled and said, "Lu's birthday today, I will cook for lunch, so I came to the supermarket to buy some vegetables and bring them back, just in time for you to celebrate for him." "Oh my God, Do I have such an honor? Zhu Liu said exaggeratedly. In fact, she also knew that today was Si Lu's birthday, but this year the Si family did not invite them like in previous years. They all thought that Si Lu did not celebrate his birthday, but now after hearing Ying Wan's invitation, she vaguely understood something, and the smile on her face could not be stopped. Brother Lu, happy birthday, then we will not be polite. I will come with Bai Ya to celebrate your birthday at noon today. Si Lu's mouth twitched, and at this time in front of Ying Wan, he could not say anything to refuse. It was Ying Wan who cooked, and they had to eat at Ying Wan's house, not at his house, so he did not seem to have the right to refuse. His voice seemed a little low, and he gritted his teeth slightly. Really? Bai Ya is so busy, do you still have time to celebrate my birthday? Of course. Zhu Liu nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. No matter how busy I am at noon, I still have time to eat. Besides, it's your birthday, so we have to come. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 380. If Yingwan couldn't see it, Si Lu might have killed Zhu Liu and burned his body. He squinted his eyes. This woman obviously couldn't tell the difference between good and bad. But who cares about Zhu Liu? She knows this is an excuse. She just wants to try Yingwan's craftsmanship. Why can't you go? In that case, I won't disturb you for now. I'll go back and make preparations. I'll come over with Bai Ya at noon. Yingwan nodded. Just come to my house. She looked at Si Lu again. There are so many people and it's so lively, what do you think? Si Lu smiled as warmly as a spring breeze. I think so too. However, Zhu Liu instantly felt a chill on her neck. It seemed like he had done something wrong, but so what? It's enough that he won't see Si Lu after eating. Yingwan's invitation was a rare one, and Zhu Liu didn't think she had the nerve to refuse. Of course, she still left the time to Yingwan and Si Lu. But after walking outside, she could no longer control the excitement in her heart. She quickly called Bai Ya, and her first sentence was filled with exclamation, "Do you know who I met when I went to the supermarket?" Bai Ya was in the company at this time. He was not in a meeting. He was just dealing with some daily affairs. He still had time. He was a little hesitant when he heard this, "Your ex-boyfriend's family of 3. Zhu Liu couldn't help scolding, "You fart, my ex-boyfriend has died a long time ago. You will definitely be shocked and can't believe it. I saw Si Lu and Yingwan shopping together in the supermarket." "That's right. It's your boss, Si Lu. Can you imagine it?" Bai Ya. When he heard the news, it was like a bolt from the blue, so much so that he trembled a little. "What did you say you saw? Did you see my boss and Si Lu going to the supermarket together?" "Yes, it's right here at MK Supermarket. When I first saw the two of them, I couldn't believe it. When did Si Lu and Yingwan have such a good relationship that they actually went to the supermarket together? Are they dating?" Zhu Liu didn't quite understand the twists and turns, but she hadn't heard Bai Ya say that Yingwan was dating Si Lu. There was no reason why he would hide such a thing from himself. Impossible. Bai Ya couldn't accept it at all. "My boss is not that kind of person. I have never seen her go to the supermarket since she was born." Zhu Liu, yes, Si Lu is not the kind of person who goes to the supermarket, but today is Si Lu's birthday. It seems that Yingwan wanted to cook a birthday meal for him, so he came to the supermarket. It seems that they have a pretty good relationship. Okay. Bai Ya took a breath of cold air. He knew how it was possible that Si Lu could not make any progress if he lived next door to the boss. He didn't even have the honor to go to the supermarket with boss. Bai Ya was sad and angry, but Bai Ya couldn't believe it. "Are they alone?" Zhu Liu, yes, but Yingwan invited us over for dinner. Should we go? Bai Ya. He was silent for 3 seconds and said with a sinister expression, "Go, of course." It was a good opportunity that just came to his door. He wanted to see how shameless Si Lu was. If boss was really together with Si Lu, he wouldn't hide it from them, so there must be nothing to do with it, but Si Lu using extraordinary means. Despicable and shameless, these words are synonymous with SILV. It's just that Bai Ya didn't expect that the other party's methods could be so despicable. There will be more updates during May Day.